All right, we are live. Mike, thank you for coming on. It is Monday Morning Quarterback, our first episode. I came up with the idea last week. I thought it'd be a good idea for me, you, anybody else that we know want to join in on the conversation. I contacted a couple other people, but they were unavailable. But it was just a great way and a good segment, I feel, for, especially if you're sports fans and football fans, just to come on and, the day after Sunday, and just talk about yesterday's games, talk about our team, which is the Giants. We share that love, unfortunately, and just the other games around the league and so on and so forth.
That game was fucking pathetic yesterday.
I know. And we are going to get into that. And we're going to get into the only thing that sucks about doing a Monday morning show. Monday morning for you, it's afternoon for me, but you're on the West Coast, is the fact that we do miss Monday Night Football, and it is going to be a big Monday night game. But we could talk about that in a minute as well. We can go over our predictions, whatever. I really do want to watch tonight's game, though.
I don't even know who's playing tonight. Who's playing?
It's going to be the Saints versus the Las Vegas Raiders. They're opening up their new stadium tonight.
That's nice.
Yeah,
that's going to be a good game.
Yeah, it should be. And again,
Carr
it's the first. What?
Carr versus Breeze. That's going to be a good fucking game.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints, obviously great team. Raiders, both teams are 1-0. And like I said, they open up Allegiant Stadium, their first home game in Vegas. So, it's fun. It's fun to watch. So I'm going to watch that.
There.
I'm going to watch that tonight.
Pipe the crowd noise with a bunch of cardboard cutouts.
Yo, I'll tell you though, that artificial noise that they've been playing in the stadiums is loud. It is.
Well, I think the main reason why they're doing it is because
the play calls, they have to.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they got pumping the crowd noise. So, because if you're hearing the play calls and you're on the other side of the field,
yeah,
you're like the defensive coordinator can just say, okay, they're going for this,
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, obviously it at that point, as an offensive coordinator and as a quarterback calling the calls, you have to adapt and you have to get a little smarter than that. But, and also too, it's not just for that. I mean, playing a game with absolutely no no sounds, no nothing, it takes away from the game as well. So, but let's, I want to start because we're Giants fans. We're at MetLife Stadium, according to our background.
We are at MetLife. We are at MetLife Stadium, even though we were in Soldier Field in Chicago.
Yeah.
Thankfully, nobody got shot. Considering that you're in Chicago and you probably would get shot.
Let's go over the game. So, how'd you feel about that loss? How do you feel about both losses so far? Because obviously the Giants are 0-2 right now.
I'm going to say this. Last year, when Eli got pulled and this kid came in, everybody gave this kid the nickname Danny Dimes.
Right. And
I'm going to say what Stephen A. Smith said. Tap the fucking brakes. Because you beat Tampa. Who they beat? They beat Tampa Bay the first game, right?
I think
when
so.
He came in. And then who was the second win against? Washington?
I honestly don't remember. I think it was
the Washington Redskins.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't say Washington football team or Washington Snowflakes or Pajama Boys. The Washington Redskins. Now, all of a sudden, Max Kellerman, and because he's a big Giants fan, he goes, Danny Dimes. Oh, Dave Gettleman's forgiven for this pick, and the last thing you should do is give a fucking person a nickname 2 games into their career.
I agree.
Because right now, Danny Dimes looks like Danny Dork shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's I mean, and what's consistent from last season to now, up until it's only 2 games, the guy just doesn't protect the ball. I mean,
He doesn't. He gets. It's like watching. I mean, they say he's like a carbon copy of Eli because he went to the same quarterback coach.
Right.
Well, I don't want a carbon copy because he is a carbon copy of Eli, which is strip sack every fucking chance you can get.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing though too is, and you don't want a carbon copy of, is Eli had his mistakes throwing the ball as well.
Right.
So
and he does it too.
Yeah.
What makes me laugh is when you watch this team is their offensive line. Last year, they protected Saquon beautiful. They couldn't stop the pass rush.
Yeah.
This year, it looks like they are having an easier time handling the pass rush, but they can't protect Saquon. And we'll get into that later because, unfortunately, I think he is he out for the season with this torn ACL?
He is out. It was it was reported he's out for the season.
Yeah. And basically, and watching the highlights of the game because like I'm not allowed to watch any type of football out here except for Arizona fucking Cardinal games.
All right, it's blacked out.
Yeah, and then radio.com now isn't allowing you to listen to the FAN feed. Now they're doing like sideline reporters like for 4 hours, and I'm like, what the hell was this I was listening to? So I think radio.com now got hit by the NFL as well. So now only thing I got is the NFL replays, and if I'm lucky, they might throw. Well, they are playing Arizona this year, so I might be able to get to watch one game.
Right.
And I might be blessed to watch one. But from watching the highlights, I think it was the play before that fucked everything up.
I think so too.
Because he had that big run, and then he looked like he got chop blocked.
Yeah.
At the end of the play, which there was no flag after the play, which there should have been because it was a chop block.
Right.
And then he did the next run, and then he got thrown down to the ground, and then he started gripping his knee again.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I got him fucked up was a chop block the play before.
I think so too. I think the play before is what started it, and then and even people when I was watching the game live, even the analysts that was that were commentating on the game said when they're watching the replay, it looked like he actually got hurt even before he hit the ground. I think it was one of the moves that he had made.
That was the chop block.
One of the cut. No, on the second play. Remember the play where he gets thrown down?
Right.
It looked like he was grimacing before he even got thrown down. So, look, it sucks. But the other thing is too, dude. I think he's better off. I mean, I'm not better off with an injury, but better off because that O-line was giving him no gaps whatsoever.
No. I mean, it's like I said before. It's like last year they covered him great, and they didn't cover the quarterback, and now they're covering the quarterback a little bit better.
Right.
Which didn't help much because he still got sacked a few times in the sack fumble.
It's still not enough protection. That offensive line, although maybe a little bit more of an improvement from last year, is still miles away from being better. Not better, but where they should be for protecting the quarterback. A lot of the issues that obviously, look, if you're gonna fumble the ball when you're pressured. Yes, it's Danny's fault for not holding on to the ball tighter, but at the same time, he's not getting the protection he needs, and that was the issue that Eli had. The same issue that Eli had. Now you have Barkley out for the season. Sterling Shepard's also hurt. He's gonna miss significant time.
That's the whole thing. This team is so injury prone every fucking year. It's like everybody, like if it's not your running back, it's your wide receiver. And then was it like 2 years ago, like after into the second game of the year, like the Giants was like 4 wide receivers?
Something like that. Yeah. And look, and even before the season started, they lost key defensive players. Look at DeAndre Baker. DeAndre Baker was waived because of his gun robbery, armed robbery charges and stuff like that. So the Giants said, all right, see you later. So we lost a key guy in the secondary with that. Their defense isn't what they should be. And that shows their third down defense yesterday against Chicago was horrible. Horrible.
Oh, absolutely.
It looked like no matter whether it was third and short or third and long, it looked like the Bears just kept constantly converting, and they just couldn't stop it. And I'm not taking anything.
They made Trubisky look like he was Tom Brady yesterday.
Right. And I'm not taking anything away from Mitch Trubisky, but at the same time, come on. It's whatever. But look, and we're going to get into the injuries that were sustained yesterday from other teams, but a lot of teams suffered major key injuries, and a lot of people are pointing at the fact that there was no training camps, there was no off season, they had no off season, and they had no preseason. So there's going to be a lot of soft tissue injuries because they're not used to playing yet. And it's going to happen at any age. It doesn't matter whether you're young or old. So this is something that we're going to have to look at, for the weeks to come. And it sucks because you got some good names, some big names are actually out for the year now.
I already wrote screwed through Facebook and a couple of, I guess, like, because I have like ESPN and other sites up.
Right.
Sorry, my battery just went below 20%, so I gotta plug it in. Sorry about that. But like already I'm scrolling through like a lot of sports type Facebook pages are already spreading rumors that we're gonna go after beast mode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from what I saw a couple photos of Marshawn Lynch and saying that, rumors are saying that he might be looked at as a replacement for Saquon, which I don't know how that's going to play out. I mean, Marshawn Lynch is just like a problem and a half. I mean, I don't know if we need something else to go wrong.
I don't know. I honestly didn't see that. The only thing I did see on ESPN was that they said that the Giants are inviting. They just offered an invite to Freeman, Devontae Freeman, the former Falcons running back. So he's coming in on an invite. They're going to work him out and see if he works okay. I don't think he's played. I don't know. I know they said that he was on the Falcons in 2015, but I don't know if I'm sure he's played since then. I have no idea. But I do know, I know all about Devontae Freeman. I know what he can offer as a running back. The problem is the talent wasn't the issue. The issue, I feel like you can have Barry Sanders back there or Emmitt Smith back there. It doesn't matter because their offensive line is shit.
Yeah, the offensive line doesn't cover nobody. I mean, no matter which way you had it, like you had Flowers and Pugh over there, which were like a problem. Then you get rid of them, and you still got problems.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. And look, I will say this. I know it was he didn't play great teams, and I know it was only a short amount of stretch. But I will say that as much as I hated Eli getting pulled, I thought that was just the way everything went down last season with Eli and everything really hurt. But there was a time where I was like, oh shit, like I was actually a believer in the Danny Dimes or whatever. I feel like it's always you should never, like you said, I mean, you don't give a nickname to a guy that really hasn't really given himself a name yet.
Right. And I mean, the only two teams you beat are Tampa Bay and Washington, which
right. But he but he did show promise. He did.
No, he does. I mean, he has a little bit. He has a little bit more to offer than Eli because Eli never ran. Eli doesn't run. I mean, it's like mobile. It's like looking at Cam being on the, doing what he did yesterday.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that later. But like Cam being able to break the pocket and run, with Tom Brady, like I said, would just fold in and just tuck down, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Daniel Jones can run. He is a running quarterback.
Yeah.
But what scares me is that Saquon now has been injured every year he's been there. Is he injury prone? Is that?
I don't know. I mean, that's another question. Yeah. I mean, again, the guy's out for a whole season, so we won't really know until next year now. But
I mean, he missed a couple of games last year. He missed a couple of games during his rookie year as well. I mean, is he injury prone? That's the whole thing. Are we going to have a problem next year if he comes back? What's it going to be next? His ankle, his now you throw your ACL. That's it. You're screwed in. I mean, what's next? Yeah. The ankle, the hamstring.
Well, you got to help. You got to hurt. What do you got? Not help. You got to hope that he bounces back. You do. And, any NFL player that sustains any injury is always going to be injury prone. Whether it's the same injury and so on and so forth. I mean, and the same thing could be said about people that haven't been injured. There are players. Look, take like Eli, for example. Eli had played, he was like the Iron Man of football. Him, even his brother, until he sustained that really bad neck injury. But you have players that I guess whether it's just the way they condition their bodies and stuff like that. But again, this is not a normal season, so we don't know if these injuries that are happening all around the league are pretty much tied into that or not. I really don't think it's about whether somebody's injury prone or not. So maybe he gets a pass this season, but hopefully again next season he could bounce back, because he has proven, even in the short amount of time he's been in this league, that he can be an elite running back, and he's fun to watch.
He is an elite running back. He just, are we looking at something that's going to be like,
I hope not.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. So it's what this year? What's going to happen this year? Is it going to be an ankle injury? Is it going to be a shoulder injury or something?
Yeah. I mean, again,
he's not going to be able to do it.
Like you said, how many times we had to deal with that with not so much with Odell, but there were a couple of injuries that Odell sustained. Victor Cruz, how many times he got hurt? Like there were a lot of injuries that plagued these Giants receivers in the offensive, the offensive side of the ball. Even defense. I mean, if you remember, the first year they won the Super Bowl back in 2008, their team limped into the playoffs, but by the time they got into the playoffs, their whole defensive team that was on the injured list actually returned. So they actually played fresher than most teams did play in the postseason. So that's why they had that big postseason push, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. So, and again, this happens to a lot of teams, not just the Giants, but because we follow the Giants, because they're our team, because we're fans of the Giants, you just feel like the injury bug hits them every year.
Well, it does. I mean, it's like you said too. Like the difference between Eli and Daniel Jones was like you said, Eli was like, what was that? The Timex watch. It takes a look and keeps on ticking.
Exactly.
I mean, Eli got the shit beat out of him.
Yeah.
And he'll get up and go right back under center.
One of the biggest games he ever had in his career was that NFC Championship game against the 49ers. He got his ass kicked. They destroyed him, and he just kept getting up.
Yep.
I remember watching that game live. It was an amazing game. All right, so
Eli Steepsorg should have been top dumping.
Yeah.
Because it's good. I get knocked down, but I get knocked down, but I keep getting up. Whatever.
So you mentioned Brady. Let's go into that really quick. Brady did get his first win as a Tampa Bay Buck yesterday. They beat the Panthers. Panthers are now 0-2. And most of the points they put up were from the running back Fournette. So, he did have a touchdown pass to Mike Evans, which, look, even with Gronk obviously helps, but even without Gronk, Brady does have some big weapons in Tampa. But so far, whether it's just him, I don't think it's just him. I feel like the offense itself is very out of sync. Like him, not the whole offense, but him and his receivers are out of sync. Like even the balls he was throwing, a lot of people, I don't know, analysts were saying that it's the Tampa weather. It makes the balls very sweaty. In more ways than one.
He likes deflated balls. Yeah. Now he has sweaty balls.
I'm saying, but in more ways than one, I guess the balls are sweaty down in Tampa. But so they said it causes the ball to travel a little limp or whatever. But at the same time, he just doesn't look sharp. I mean, I only watched some replays. I wasn't able to watch the game itself. But
so wait. So he has three problems now. He has deflated, sweaty balls with a limp.
Yep.
Poor Giselle.
I'd say. I guess that's just being 43, I guess, right, too?
I don't want to say Father Time has come to see him. Like you said, he's been playing 20 years under Belichick's playbook.
Yeah.
And a lot of those years where it was Josh McDaniels as offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Bruce Arians is a different animal than what Bill Belichick is.
Right.
Belichick is a defensive coach, defensive type head coach. Arians is an offensive coordinated head coach. They're going to butt heads no matter what on there. And even with the loss last week to the Saints, Arians called him out and he didn't like it. Well, you know what? Tough shit.
No, tough shit is right. I don't care what kind of quarter, who you are. He's the coach.
I don't care who the fuck you are. I don't care if you're Jesus Christ coming off the cross to play. You're fucking Tom Brady. Granted, you got 6 Super Bowls, and I'm here to tell you, here's your reality check. You're not playing in the shitty NFC East anymore. This is, the AFC East. This is the NFC.
Right.
And the NFC is a little, and that NFC South division, that's one of the tougher divisions to win.
That's a very tough division. It is.
I mean, you got New Orleans, you got.
Although the West, I think the West this year is the tougher one now. Because you got, even though San Francisco.
I don't think the NFC West, I hate to say it, I don't think the NFC West is what it was used to be.
No, it's not what it used to be, but don't forget, look, you got the 49ers. I know they're 1-1 and they're hurting. They're hurting even bad, and they're going to face the Giants next week.
Arizona did have a nice win.
Arizona's 2-0, but don't forget about the Rams. The Rams look very good. The Rams look better than the Super Bowl team, I think. So far, I mean, again, it's only 2 games,
right?
But the Rams look like they were supposed to, and they're without Todd Gurley because Todd Gurley's no longer on the team. So
of course, Seattle getting their win yesterday. We'll cover that later too.
And then again, like you said, and Seattle. So that's why I feel like that division is very tough. And again, the South is as well. I think the worst team in the worst division in the NFC is the East. It clearly is the East.
Because Max Kellerman actually said this morning on First Take that the NFC East, you could get it, and I don't know if he was joking or not, or he was just saying it just to be amusing. He said you could finish 6-10 and get a playoff spot.
I say 7-9. I didn't hear Max Kellerman say that. I was actually watching First Take today, but I didn't get a chance to watch. It
was during the highlights of the Atlanta game, which we'll talk about later too.
Got it. So. Yeah. So I agree. Look, I believe Dallas is 1-1, and the Eagles are now 0-2. The Skins,
the Skins are 1-1.
And the Giants are 0-2. So, I mean, it's not like there's no definitive team right now. And again, it's only 2 games.
Yeah, but the Giants could go 8-8 and win the division. I mean, they'll probably get knocked out of the playoffs in the first round. But
the Giants weren't even predicted to win 6 games before the season started. So, and it bothers me because even in their loss week 1, the offense showed some signs of being better than I thought they were going to be.
I'm not the offense. No, I mean, except for a couple of screw-ups.
The turnovers, the turnovers hurt them.
I think for the turnovers, he didn't play a bad game. I mean, he threw over for what? He threw for over 250.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, he got a touchdown. I mean,
just turned the ball over 3 times.
I mean, that one play where that wide receiver just ran in. I mean, nobody's covering the fucking guy. He just, I'm okay. I'm gonna slowly trot into the end zone for a score.
Yeah.
Nobody covers. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, that's it. I mean, we're sitting here calm. I mean, I listened. I get a kick out of Vic DiMatteo when he does the Giants coach locker room post game conference. Where he's the head. He's the grand poobah of football operation. And he comes out there and he just calls them cut rags and cocksuckers, and he just yells at them for like a good 7 minutes, and like you could tell, like he acts like we are the frustrated Giants fans. It's like, okay, 0-2, what's going to happen next?
I mean, what can happen next?
I understand, you got this new coach Judge. Okay. I'm not a Jason Garrett fan, so I don't like him to begin with. So I don't, even if they're getting him ready to be the head coach, if Judge doesn't work out after 2 or 3 seasons,
right?
I really don't want this fucking guy coaching my team.
I mean, he had and not to get too more off topic, he did have success in Dallas. He did,
not much success.
It wasn't.
I was like saying Tony Romo has success in Dallas.
Yeah, well, true. That is very true. But so
I don't want. Like, I don't want to hear like, oh, well, it was a good loss. We only lost by 4. Look, there's no such thing as a good
No,
loss.
whether you lose by 1 or
You
by
lose by
30,
1 or
it's a
by 30,
loss.
it's a loss. A loss is a loss. So,
Yeah.
well, it was a good loss. I mean, they closed in at the end and almost pulled it out. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, we still fucking lost.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, am I happy we didn't get blown out? Yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
when I saw 14-0, I was like, oh shit, we're gonna get shut out today.
yeah, I was thinking the same thing. To be honest with you, I was, because they honestly didn't even look like they were going to move. They were able to move, capable of doing any kind of scoring drive whatsoever. It was that bad at one point. It really was.
Yeah.
But so to piggyback off of the whole Brady thing, let's talk about his former team, the Patriots. It was, I think, one of the better games. Obviously excluding the Cowboys and Falcons game for obvious reasons, but the Sunday night football game between the Patriots and Seahawks, I actually watched almost the entire game, and I thought it was definitely the better of the bunch of yesterday's matchups. And like you said, under this new offense now with Cam Newton and I believe Kellerman, I don't know if it was Kellerman. No, it was
Edelman.
No, it was I think it was Rodney Harrison, one of the former either Ryan Clark, one of the former Patriot players. Anyway, he said that he believes that this offense wouldn't be as good this year if Brady was still at the helm, and Cam Newton just offers that much more of a dynamic. And I agree. I do, because like you said,
right, like I said earlier, he if there's pressure, he can run. But like I said, Brady wasn't a mobile quarterback. He is.
Right.
And he can throw. I mean, he's everything you want in that type of quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was throwing darts. There were a lot of throws that, and again, look, I really didn't watch many games of Cam Newton because, he played in Carolina. So I don't really get to watch a lot of Carolina games. Obviously I've seen him play in the Super Bowl. I've seen enough of Cam, but I really was impressed. I didn't realize how accurate of a thrower he can be as well, because I knew he can run, and I knew he had that toughness mentality where, he's built like a back. He can not only throw, but he can run and, absorb some really big hits, but he can throw, dude. The guy can really throw. I was really impressed. And I was actually I was pulling for the Patriots last night against the Seahawks. I loved the basically the shootout. Now, obviously, Wilson was pretty much a one-man show. I think he had 5 touchdowns last night. Mm-hmm. He threw for 5 touchdowns and 1 interception. Cam only had the 1 touchdown, but he had 2 rushing touchdowns as well. So he had 3 total. So Cam almost had 400 yards passing.
And Cam got to do his Superman thing,
Yeah.
Remember that game when they played the Giants a while back, like a few years ago, and they lost? But in one of the things, he ran in for the touchdown, and he did the opening of the shirt.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I don't know.
I think it was Cruz. I think it was Victor Cruz that did it.
I don't know if it was the Post or the Daily News, but whoever did the comic strip did it where he opened up the shirt. It was a Hello Kitty T-shirt underneath the uniform.
No, I thought didn't one of the Giant receivers mimic it when they scored and make fun of it?
I think it was Cruz.
I don't know. It was one of those. So I
think it was Victor. I think you're right. I think it was Victor that did it.
So that game went down to 3 seconds left.
Oh my God!
For the 1 yard line.
1 yard line.
I knew Cam was going to run it. There was no doubt about that. But
Stevie Wonder knew Cam was going to run it.
That moment though, and you're Bill Belichick. You're a good play caller. You're a great play calling coach. I probably wouldn't have with 3 seconds left. I would have had the throwing play with an option to run, not just a straight up snap the ball and run. Because you said, like I just said, and like you just said, we all knew everything. We all knew it was coming. That's how you get the defense off their, off their feet. And then you probably could have scored right there because they were waiting for it. And in fact, he lost. He was on the 1. I think he was tackled at the 3.
Well, it was kind of a way that when you looked at that Super Bowl where Seattle was playing New England,
which
and
was stupid.
everybody knew Pete Carroll was gonna make Russell Wilson be the guy, and he went to pass and he threw that interception where you had beast mode right behind him, where you could just like, okay, we're gonna fake this and hand it off to.
In that option, dude, let me tell you something. That was the biggest bonehead call in the history of bonehead calls. How you do not run the ball in, and that was, and again, this is the exact opposite because I feel like you said, I didn't feel it that way. I felt, yes, Russell Wilson is a playmaker, but you got to run the ball. You got Lynch who was killing it. Lynch was beast mode that game. You have to at that point you have to run the ball. You do. This time, even though they were expecting it from Cam, I mean, as much as they were expecting it from Cam, that's when you go against the grain and you say, you know what? Okay, go in as a pass call, and then have the option because he has the mobility. Spread it out. They were in basically run formation. There was no, you know what I mean? There was no trickery. There was no there was no reason to give the defense the idea or the thought that the Patriots might pass the ball. They were going all in on the rush. So I just feel like it should have been a better play call. But it was, again, even though it ended the way it did, with Cam getting stuffed at like the 2 or 3 yard line, it was such a great game to watch because it was a back and forth. You know, Russell Wilson was just making incredible throws, accurate throws, only throws that looks like he can make. And then the Seahawks, what is it? Ran for a combined over 150 yards. So they ran the ball. So as much as Russell Wilson threw the ball and was accurate, he only had 288 yards passing.
Well, that last touchdown he threw.
Yeah.
If I heard right, Al Michaels was saying that they actually were split 50-50 between passing and rushing, 28 and 28, and the 29th pass of the game was the go-ahead touchdown.
Which I don't understand why they called that. I don't understand why they did. That was stupid because that throw on 3rd and 1, you know, although almost caught, why would you throw the ball on 3rd and 1 if you're the Seahawks? Because you gave the ball right back to the Patriots, and you gave them the chance to almost score that game-winning drive.
Yep.
But
because they were down by 12, right? And then they scored, and then they got the ball back right away.
Yeah.
And then like you said, that running play, oh my God! Cam, when he went up, he ran, but then the next thing you know, you saw him go up and over.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if he got tripped.
I was more concerned about the landing on that than anything.
I don't know if he got tripped up or if he tried to hurdle over the guy, but that jump felt pointless because he was nowhere near the goal line.
Yeah.
But hold on, Cam led the Patriots with only because they had no running game. The Patriots had no running game whatsoever.
Seahawks. Cam was the running game.
Yeah, he led the Patriots. He led the team with 47 yards running. But so yeah, it's, you know, the both quarterbacks had 1 interception. And again, like I said, Russell Wilson had 5 touchdown passes, but he only had 28 attempts because he had a running game. And they had, what was that? I think like 4 or 5 different players that touched the ball yesterday. So
it was a good game overall.
I thought it was a really good game. I enjoyed it.
Of the top 3 games, like because like we're gonna talk about more about the closer games over the weekend.
Yeah.
Of my top 3 games, that was number 3 on my list. I have actually 2 other games ahead of that.
Okay. All right. I really do want to hear about those. I do. So let's really quick, let's switch over to the AFC East. Right now, the Bills, because the Patriots lost, they are now 1-1. and the Bills are actually on top 2-0. And dude, Josh Allen so far, and again, only 2 games, right? Leads the NFL in 729 yards passing and is 6 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. Granted, it's against the Jets and the Dolphins.
Not saying much.
It's not saying much, but you got to give credit where credit is due at one point, especially to the way he's playing so far. And again, I know it's only 2 games. The Bills are actually, even before the season started, the Bills were actually high up there in predictions. I'm pretty sure they were predicted to win the East because people didn't know what the Patriots were going to look like without,
they all said that. They all said that once Brady left.
Yeah.
Everybody said, like everybody asked, like, okay, who's the AFC East team that's going to benefit from this? And
right.
Everybody said
the Bills. Yeah. Now, look, again, after 2 games, we don't know because I really feel like the Bills need to play somebody a little bit better in order to get a better understanding of what kind of team they are. However, the Patriots were a yard away from being tied. So you cannot count them out. You can't. And the Patriots have played so far the Seahawks and who did they play last week? They got the win against.
I totally missed week 1 because you actually brought me. It's kind of like a Godfather Part 3 scenario with me,
right?
Because I was boycotting this. I was even going to pay attention to the Giants this year.
I can't not pay attention to the Giants.
And then you just like, hey, I'm doing this Monday morning quarterback thing. You want to jump in on this? And I'm like, son of a bitch. Just when I thought I was out,
he pulled me back in. Yeah.
So, but here's a question I have.
Okay.
Josh Allen, was he in the same quarterback class with Daniel Jones?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I would have to look that up.
I'm wondering when he got drafted. If he got drafted the same year as Jones, then
I don't think so. Because I feel like Josh Allen, my brother would know because he's a Bills fan. I feel like Josh Allen was traded for. Wasn't he with the No, was he with the Cardinals?
No. No, that was
who was that quarterback that the Cardinals had?
That was a UCLA. No, that was a UCLA kid they had over there.
Who was that player? Remember they had like the billboard of him, and then they ended up trading him.
Yeah, because they got Kyler Murray last year.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot his name. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was Josh Allen.
No, I'll see right now. So Josh Allen. Let's see where he was.
Are you doing that, guy? Somebody's at the door. Give me a second.
Go ahead.
Delivery action. Okay.
So when was Daniel Jones drafted? Because I was wrong. The Buffalo Bills. Okay. Buffalo Bills drafted him in 2018.
All right, so then Daniel Jones was drafted 2018.
Oh, it was the same year.
Hey, we got a viewer.
Yeah. Nice sweatshirt. He's a Packers fan. Which if you're a Packers fan this year, you have to love what the Packers do. We're going to get into that in a couple of minutes. In fact, that's one of the things I wanted to cover because the Packers are also 2-0. But I mean, with players like Aaron Rodgers and so on, you can't count the Packers out at all any season. So we'll definitely get into that. But yeah, the Packers. So I don't know. I feel like
Jones was drafted in 19. Because he played the 1920 season.
Yeah. So Allen was drafted, I think, in the 7th pick, the 7th overall pick by the Bills.
Okay.
So my confusion, and I'll look up later when we're done with the show. I'll look up who that quarterback was that I was talking about. The quarterback that I was talking about that was on the Cardinals. My brother was afraid that the Bills were going to trade for. Because I think the Bills and Miami were looking to get that kid.
Yeah, because he was the first round draft pick the year before, and then they went after Kyler Murray the next year.
Who? Oh, fucking shit. I'll find out in a second.
I think it was, and I think he was the number one pick because Arizona had the number one and number two pick that year. No, we had the number two pick because we got Saquon.
Yeah, which a lot of people weren't happy about with that second round pick.
Yeah, well, we still got an injury prone running back, so that's still up in the air.
Who the fuck was it? It wasn't Leinart. I remember Matt Leinart. He was a bust.
Yeah, Matt Leinart was a bust. It was 2018. It was a kid from UCLA, if I remember. It wasn't USC. It was UCLA.
Josh Rosen.
Okay, so Josh Rosen.
That's who I was thinking of.
Number what overall?
I don't know, but that's why I thought it was, because it's Josh Allen that we were talking about. It's Josh Rosen.
So Josh Rosen was supposed to be the future quarterback for the Cardinals.
Yeah, he's the one that came from the UCLA, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, for whatever happened, he wasn't doing it, and then they were going after Kyler Murray, and then he's like, okay, the writing's on the wall, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly. And he was selected it was the same draft. It was the same draft class as Josh Allen, but Allen was picked 7th overall, and Josh Rosen went 10th pick overall to the Cardinals. So I'm glad. All right, I'm glad we got that over with. So again, season's only 2 games in, but the Bills look pretty good. Because it's not just.
I mean, but like you said, it's only 2 games in. Let's not go crazy worrying about what's going to happen. But I mean, like you said, I mean, a lot of predictions came that Buffalo was going to benefit without Brady in New England.
Now, speaking of better, of a team doing even better right now, and a team that kind of almost looks unstoppable, is the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Baltimore Ravens are also 2-0, but it's not just because they're 2-0. They have outscored their opponents 71-22. So not only is Lamar Jackson and the offense lighting things up, but their defense has only allowed 22 points total in the last 2 games.
So they're averaging 11 points per game.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ravens always had
a good defense.
A good defense. I mean, a good defense. And always a decent. I mean, don't get me wrong. Joe Flacco was a really good quarterback.
I thought Joe Flacco, but he had one of the strongest arms in the game at one point.
Yeah, he did. I mean, don't get that wrong. I mean, but yeah, Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's a different kind of animal.
He is.
If I had to rate the top 2 quarterbacks right now in the NFC, in the AFC alone, Mahomes is 1, Lamar Jackson number 2.
I agree.
And then Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee, my God, what a rebirth. I mean, he should be 3rd on that list, because even that Tennessee game, which we were talking about earlier, before we went on air, when we were talking about it on Messenger, my God, him who's the running back on Tennessee? That
Henry,
Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
guy's a fucking beast.
Tennessee's a great team. Tennessee.
That was a really good. I mean, that was a really good game yesterday.
I was pulling for Tennessee last season in the playoffs.
I was too.
I was.
But I mean, you went up against Mahomes, though. I mean,
I know. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, Patrick Mahomes is a special kind of.
It really is unbelievable how good Mahomes really is.
like I want to do my best Chris Collinsworth. This is a special guy out there. Let me tell you.
Well, look, listen to what. So Max Kellerman, one of the things I was able to hear on the first take today, he basically said when he was watching the game, as close as it was, obviously he went to overtime, as close as that game was, he never, ever felt that the Chiefs were going to lose that game because that is the kind of presence that Mahomes brings to the field.
I'm gonna give you the two plays that made a big difference in that game.
Go ahead.
The 58-yard field goal, the first 58-yard field goal that kicker made,
right,
was a momentum changer.
Right.
And then Mahomes running 20 yards for the first down.
Yeah.
Was the second.
Yeah.
I mean, that whenever I see Kansas City losing, never count them out.
No.
Never ever. They could be losing. I mean, they were losing to Tennessee like 14 or 21 nothing.
Something like that.
And then all of a sudden, all of a sudden, Mahomes won gangbusters and just like. And the funny thing is, my neighbors next door are Kansas City Chiefs fans. They're from Kansas City.
Right.
The noise that comes from that apartment on Sundays is amazing.
I can imagine. Well, you got to get what your neighbors have. Obviously, they can they can watch hometown games. So you got to get something where you can be able to watch the Giants play.
Yeah, I know what they're using, but all I know is that their victory actually got me Kansas City barbecue ribs last night for dinner because she was making barbecue ribs, and she sends me a text afterwards because I guess I was napping and my wife was walking the dog, and she sends me a text saying, "Sorry if they're not full off the bone. The Chiefs gave us a heart attack today." and then another thing in that overtime, that kicker kicked a 53-yarder.
I know. I was gonna go over that.
But because of the false start,
58 again,
5 yards back. Then he kicked the 58.
Got iced.
Got iced. And then he made another 50. So in less than a minute, the guy kicked 169 yards worth of kicks in less than a minute.
Yeah.
But I mean, and actually that was my number one game of the week was the Kansas City game.
Well, now that you brought that up, because I was going to go over that in itself, but so you had the Chiefs, they won in overtime. They won the way they did. Like you said, the kicker was Butker. That's his name, Butker. Butker kicks a 53-yarder, gets called back because of the offsides. Well, let me say the false start. Then he got iced. Then he got iced on 58 and hit the other 58 for the game winner. But
so actually, he made three 58-yard field goals
in the whole game, and a 53. So he was 4 for 4 basically. But the other story was with Tyrod Taylor getting hurt before the game, and he was a late game, he was a late day scratch. They had to start the rookie Justin Herbert, and Herbert threw for 311 yards, and
he looked really good. That kid.
Yeah, hold on. Oh, and two touchdown passes and 1 rushing TD. So he looked good, and he almost brought his team down the field to win the game before it went to overtime. So that was you're right. That was I liked the Patriots Saints game, not Saints, Patriots Seahawks game a little bit better, only because it was high scoring, but at the same time it was like back to back. I like Max Kellerman, never felt that the Chiefs were going to lose, and I kind of didn't like that feeling because I was kind of pulling for the rookie quarterback of the Chargers, but you can't go wrong with this game and then the other one that I want to talk about, the Cowboys and Falcons.
Yeah, and that was my number 2 game of the week.
Yeah. So, but really quick before we get in,
I've liked the top 3 exciting games.
Before we get into the number 2 game of the week, I do want to go because we talked about before the Chiefs and Chargers game. I talked about the Ravens and how good they have looked so far. The opposite belongs to the Lions. The Lions became the first team ever to blow a double-digit lead in 4 straight games, obviously dating back to last season. They led by 14-3. They led 14-3 at the end of the first quarter yesterday against the Packers, and then the Packers just, erupted and ended up beating them 42-21. Aaron Rodgers looked good, but the real story of the game was Aaron Jones, their running back. He ran for almost 200 yards. They had a combined over 200 yards rushing yesterday, with Aaron Jones with 168 and 2 touchdowns. So the Packers looked
200 yards rushing. What was it like? Playing Madden on easy with experience set on players.
I mean, with the Lions in town, what else would you again, the Lions suffered a really heartbreaking loss last week. The guy dropped a wide open fucking pass in the end zone. And the Bears ended up winning that game. But the Lions, it's just every year. And I feel bad for the Lions. I actually do. I used to root for the Lions. I actually love Lions. My lion is my favorite animal. I'm a Leo. So I always had like a soft spot for the Lions. So to see them struggle every fucking season, it's mind-boggling, because you got a guy like Matthew Stafford. You've had other successful quarterbacks in the past. I mean, not elite like Stafford, but you had decent amount of quarterbacks in the past, and they're running backs too. Running backs that, either never lived up to the hype. I think Best, wasn't it Best? That was his last name. I can't remember the first name. I think it was one of them was Best. He was predicted to have such a great career. He was a bust. I mean, obviously going back to the Barry Sanders years, he is my favorite all-time running back is Barry Sanders. But, you got to feel for the Lions. It's fucking every year. And it's a head scratcher, and they've had some playmakers, not only in the quarterback position, but look at, you had,
Megatron.
You had Megatron. You had Herman Moore. Remember Herman Moore?
Vaguely.
Yeah, he was another.
Like, I'm not like if it ain't the Giants, I'm not following. You know what I mean?
I get you. I like multiple teams. Maybe not many people know this. My second favorite team in the league has always been, since I'm a kid, is the Steelers. I always like that black and gold, that color mix. I think most of that came from Rocky. Remember the Rocky, the Italian stallion, the Eye of the Tiger. Yeah. He always liked black and yellow. That was his colors, I think, in Rocky 3. Steelers were for a while my second favorite team. They still are, but the Lions and other teams as well. I'm just a fan of football. So, right. At one point, I liked the Redskins. That year that they won the Super Bowl with Mark Rippon, and the other players on that team.
I mean, I used to like, like Joe Montana and everything.
Yeah, same here. Loved it. Joe Montana. Yeah,
big Joe Montana fan. I was big on. Actually, the year that Arizona was up against Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl, I rooted for Pittsburgh, and everybody's like, "Well, you live in Arizona," and I'm like, "I hate Arizona every way. I hate living here. I hate being here. I hate their fucking teams."
Nick said that the Lions are always dangerous when they play on Thanksgiving. Yeah, so they saved their best game for the.
Yeah. I mean, now the Thanksgiving game seems pretty much useless now with Thursday Night Football anyway. And they play like 4 games on a Thursday now for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's hard. I mean, like if you're up by double digits and you lose,
4 straight
like that.
4 straight. Well, here's the other. So here was the other. Here's another stat from yesterday that I didn't write down, but oh shit, I really wish I did because I don't know the exact number. But the Falcons had a 30, I believe, with the how much were the Falcons up? Because we're gonna get obviously that's our next game. Were they up 39-0?
No, they were up.
Oh no. That's no.
Let me remember. It was
no. I know what it is.
20-0.
So. A team that scored 39 points was like 140 something and 0 before yesterday's game. So the Falcons are the only team in NFL history that have scored at least 39 points and lost the game. Oh, with 0 turnovers. 39 points.
As said by Stephen A. Smith this morning on First Take, the Atlanta Falcons are the dumbest NFL team in NFL history.
And we are going to get into that just now because that's your second favorite game of the week, right?
Oh, yeah.
So your number 2 game of the week, and I also is my number 2. We just had different number 1s. You like the Chiefs and Chargers game. I happen to like the Pats and Seahawks game, but the Cowboys, as much as I fucking hate them because they are in the same division as the Giants, don't get me wrong. I did like them in the mid-90s when they had that mini dynasty with Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman, Deion
and
Sanders.
Michael Irving.
They had Sanders at one point. But then again, who didn't have Sanders in the fucking 90s? Sanders
Anybody had Sanders in the 90s.
The 49ers had Sanders. Atlanta had Sanders. Yeah. So, but I did, don't get me wrong. I honestly, I did kind of like the Cowboys in the 90s, and if you were a Giants fan in the 90s, there really wasn't, with the exception of 1990, you really didn't have much of a team to really go for anyway. But so the Cowboys at one point with under 5 minutes left, we're down 39-24. And then with under 3 minutes left, we're down by 9. They do a quick score.
But even get into that, I mean, the first quarter alone, they had 3 fumbles, 3 turnovers, and a botched and a botched fake punt for a pass.
Right.
To give Atlanta that 20-0 lead.
Yeah. They had a huge lead, but it all came from, like you said, all from turnovers. So they were early gifts, but the Cowboys had to play comeback the whole game. But what's more mind-boggling than anything, and we're going to get to why the Falcons are as stupid as they are, at least question why they're stupid as they are. The Cowboys needed
Are we going to talk about the onside kick?
Yes, the Cowboys needed an onside kick. That's all that was needed, was an onside kick in order to get the ball back. And don't get me wrong. I mean, that kick was a crazy kick. He basically spun the ball. The ball was just literally circling, but 6, I think it was either 6 Atlanta Falcons.
No. It was 6 because Stephen A. kept saying it was 5, and then Keyshawn said, no, it was 6.
Okay, so it was
you had
6.
6 black jerseys.
Just staring at it.
Hovering around the ball, staring at it.
Creating a perimeter. They literally stood around it and created like a circle. Like, what are you doing? It's a live ball.
The rule is with the onside kick, it has to go 10 yards.
10 yards, yes.
Kicking team.
So
to retrieve it.
To be able to touch it. But you can touch it.
Atlanta could retrieve it under 10 yards.
Anytime. At any time. That's the point.
6 of them not touching the ball. This is why, to quote the great Stephen A. Smith, the Atlanta Falcons are the dumbest NFL team in history.
Yeah, and that's what's mind-boggling. Like you said, exactly the point. Exactly the point.
That was a bad Stephen A. impression, but I could actually do a better Stephen A. when I could.
The Cowboys, like you said, the Cowboys can't touch the ball before 10 yards, but the Falcons could have retrieved it at any time. But what they did is they elected, because I don't know if they thought the ball was going to go out of bounds or it was going to stay below 10 yards. At that, it doesn't matter. You jump on the fucking ball.
You want the real turning point? You want the real turning point of that game?
What? Yeah, I want to hear it. Yeah.
Gage doing the wildcat pass and Julio Jones dropping the pass in the end zone. You were exactly right. Julio Jones, one of the best wide receivers in the game right now, with one of the surest hands, obviously excluding Larry Fitzgerald. I think Larry Fitzgerald probably has the best hands in the game, or at least at one point did have the best hands in the game. Julio Jones dropping that wide open touchdown pass. It was easily, you were correct. You were correct. But it was a perfect point right there.
It was the perfect storm, though, like you said. The option pass that was dropped by Jones, and then just the sheer collapse, and then on top of that, to allow that onside kick to do what it did without securing the ball. Everything had to happen for the Cowboys to win the game, and it ended up happening. I mean, you're down by 9. That is a 2-possession game. You're down by 9 with 2 minutes and 57 seconds left. The probability of coming back from that is low. I forgot. I think at one point the Falcons had a 99.9% or 99% chance to win the game. That's how much of a lead with so little time they had, and yet the Cowboys came back. But like you said, that drop pass by Julio Jones and that onside kick gaff. No, there's no excuse. There is no excuse. Look, receivers drop the ball. It happens. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Jerry Rice, like Julio Jones, Odell Beckham. Receivers are going to drop the ball. And unfortunately, they're going to drop the ball in high stake moments and key moments. But to not secure a simple onside kick like that, no matter how the ball was spinning, is just
6.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of that was going through those players' minds, which still doesn't justify it, was that because the ball had such spin action, they were afraid A, was going to touch a part of their body and become live, or they were going to be able to not secure it because of how much spin it had on it. I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know what was going on through their.
What the hell? I mean, there's 6 of them hovering over it. I mean, even if they all dropped on it at the same time.
You're right.
Where was the ball going to go?
No, again, I tried to give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt, but it's just at that point, you just can't. You really can't.
Nah, but I mean, like you said, you told me to watch whatever games on the highlights that we were going to talk about. I mean, he threw a couple extra with the Ravens. I didn't see that one.
It doesn't matter because there really were no.
So I felt like a deer in headlights for a minute, but when I watched the Atlanta game, and I'm like, and I saw Julio Jones drop that pass, I was like,
yeah,
holy shit.
Because I didn't.
I mean, it didn't do the damage right there. I mean, because they did score another drive. We Gage actually.
They did.
Matt Ryan threw the pass to him, and they scored another touchdown. That's how they got to 39.
Right.
But if he would have caught that ball, now you're looking at 46.
Yeah.
You're the winner. That's it. I mean,
that was the nail in the coffin. That would have been the nail in the coffin. 100%. All right, so let's go over really quick. Let's go over some because we went through the key games of the week. I didn't want to go over all of them. I mean, what else is there to say? But some of the key injuries last night. Yesterday. Obviously, we talked about Saquon, and he's out for the season. He's out for the year. Nick Bosa of the 49ers. Now, the 49ers had the brunt of the injuries, and these are big injuries. Nick Bosa is pretty much out for the year. Suspected torn ACL. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's week to week. He's got a high ankle sprain. One of their defensive backs, Solomon Thomas. He's it's not yet determined, but they think he's got an ACL tear as well. And Mostert, I don't know if I'm saying that right. They're running back, the guy who at the very first game, very first play from scrimmage, ran for 80 yards for a touchdown against the Jets. He's got a mild MCL sprain, so he only might be out just for a select amount of games. But, and then look, you got for the Giants also, like I said, Sterling Shepard. He could miss several weeks because he's got turf toe. And I used to make fun of turf toe, but turf toe, so when I broke my foot a couple of years ago and I was having severe pain in my big toe.
You having
severe? I had some severe pain in my toe, and the doctor at one point thought I had turf toe. So if turf toe feels at like anything that I had, I can understand why. I used to make fun of it when I used to see players out with turf toe. It literally feels like you have a broken bone. So he might miss whatever. And then Christopher McCaffrey, one of the leading rushers in the game for the Panthers, he can miss at least a month. He's got I think something with his knee or ankle. I really can't remember. I really can't read what I wrote. It either says knee or ankle.
Now, I got a couple of subjects I want to ask you about.
Okay.
And we were talking about this earlier before we went on air.
Right.
Now, there's 6 teams that are allowing fans in the stands.
As of now, we don't know if any other teams are going to be. Yeah.
Right. But as of right now, you're looking at Jacksonville, Miami, Dallas, Detroit, Denver, and Indianapolis.
Yes.
And they're doing pod sections, like I said. And depending on that, Kansas City actually has the most strictest where you have to buy 6 tickets and all 6 people have to know each other.
Right. Which makes sense.
And the other ones are doing 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, let me ask you this. Who in their right mind will give them permission to only allow 6 teams to make revenue during a season where there's barely
He's right. I forgot to. So I don't know if you realized, Mike, but I did. And again, it's
you accomplished 100 subscribers.
Yeah, it's a small milestone. I actually got an email from YouTube. You know, they make a little bit of a big deal about it. I mean, it's nowhere near 1,000, but Teddy's laughing. Teddy's my little cousin. But I did, it's a small milestone. I'm happy I did.
And considering the fact how we started off by barely having anybody doing these little little things. We start off with James and a couple of people, then I came on and
now it's about keeping those 100 subs. Now I got there. I want to build on it, but let's keep it.
We got to produce good shows, all of us. But
I'm trying.
Nobody, no wind tunnels and
no one.
Sorry, James, if you're watching this. No, but seriously, like, why would the NFL give permission to only 6 teams to do this? I mean, I understand that the governors and the mayors of the city gave the thumbs up to do this because they're meeting the percentages of COVID.
Yeah.
But why would you only allow 6 teams to make revenue and say to the other ones, "Fuck you"?
I don't know, and that's a good question. And like you said, there's 32 teams in the league, and if you're going by geography, if you're going by numbers, where does Miami fall in that? Just a month ago, their numbers were up. I haven't really been following it because I'm trying not to follow this whole pandemic shit anymore.
There was a lot of stories, a lot of testing sites screwed up, and that's why.
Okay.
But,
all right,
but they're on the downtick again. Everything's going good,
but like you said, whether it's about the numbers or not in the other states,
regardless of the numbers, who gives the right? I mean, you got now Dallas had fans in the stadium yesterday.
They did.
So that means they made ticket sales.
Yeah.
That means they made parking passes because on StubHub, like I said, I was reading everything from StubHub.
I'm assuming people are driving because not many people are going to want to take public transportation. Go ahead.
Parking passes. You have to buy a parking pass. Now you got concessions.
Are concessions open?
I believe concessions are open.
Okay.
They got 6 feet distance in the line and everything. I think they do have concessions.
All right.
So even though you're still making revenue, even without concession, you're still making revenue.
Yeah.
How is that fair to the other 24 teams?
It's not. No, 30. There's 32. So 26 teams.
32?
Yeah, there's 32 teams in football. It doesn't make any sense.
So 26 teams are, I understand that their mayor's an asshole. He ain't gonna have. He said it. There's not gonna be no sports fans in the stands until there's a vaccine, which hopefully will be out within the next month or month and a half. Which prediction they're getting, but LA
I'm in agreement with you, though. I think it's unfair.
It is very unfair.
Other teams that cannot make revenue. Look at baseball. Are baseball teams going to get fans?
Not, I think no, not at all. Now, what I think. Now, I don't know if they worked out an agreement where they're going to give a percentage to each team of their revenue because they're going to have people there.
Well, that's another thing, though, too. I just realized that. Actually, I take that back because the NFL and MLB are two different types of animal because NFL works on revenue sharing.
So maybe that's why they can do it.
So I think we just answered our own question. Again, I don't know if that's it, but I know for a fact that the NFL does work on a revenue sharing. So revenue sharing, basically, it's one big pot full of gold or pot full of money, may have you, and they all share from that stream. So that might be the reason why. It might not matter who makes what because it's all going to the same bank.
Right.
So
now,
maybe that's what it is.
Okay. And now my second question to you.
But hold on, really quick, just to piggyback on that. Even though it may not be fair revenue-wise, I feel like it's unfair to fans.
It is.
If I,
it's very unfair to fans.
Why can't I go see my? I mean, do I really want to? But why can't I go see my Giants play in a city that, granted, I know they play in Jersey, but in a city that's fine, has had their issues, one of their, has the best numbers right now. Why can't I go? Why can't MetLife open up?
Well, no, because then they'll go by Phil Murphy, the governor of Jersey, would actually have to make the call on that one.
Yeah, no, that's a Jersey call.
He's actually a bigger asshole than Cuomo is when it comes to this stuff.
Okay. So what were you going to say before I interjected?
Okay, so now I heard rumors going around watching some ESPN clips during the week. Do you think Cleveland is going to trade Odell before the end of the season?
They said, and that was one of the stories
if so, where?
They said, and this is what it was said on the, one of the stories that was on SportsCenter today. They said that those are just rumors. Okay. And that right now Cleveland has no desire to trade because I think those rumors started last year too. And there were rumors that Giants might be in the open. I don't know. I don't know if the Giants.
If I was Dave Gettleman, I wouldn't. He was already a problem to begin with the first time, and he hasn't grown up yet.
Yeah,
I see. If I can see him going to only two teams.
Dallas.
Three. Dallas.
Right.
And either of the LA franchises, either the Chargers or the Rams.
Right.
Because
the Rams are already paying.
Odell wants that Hollywood lifestyle. He wants he said he wants to be an actor and everything and do stuff after his career.
So if that was the case, the Chargers would probably be the one to get him if that was the case. If it was going to be an LA team, only because if you look at the salaries that the Rams are paying, there would be no room for Odell Beckham on their roster. It just wouldn't happen. As much as the Rams would benefit, probably more because their team would be that much more explosive. There's just no way. The amount of salary that team pays is just unbelievable. And there's a cap, so they would be beyond that. But I don't know. Look again. It says they're just rumors that the Browns aren't looking to trade whatever. I mean, I really haven't been able to watch the Browns. I know they just beat the Bengals. I did watch a little bit of that game.
I mean, that's not much to say that you beat the
exactly.
Beat the Bengals,
exactly.
But, I mean, like a lot of people are saying that this Baker Mayfield kid's a bust, and
that's what it's looking like. But Odell has shown that he has talent. He has issues.
He has a mental problem.
Yeah, he has issues. That's why I said Dallas. I don't think Dallas is going to get him, but Dallas usually likes those problem teams players.
I say this about Odell. He is this generation's T.O.
That's what he lacked. He acts like T.O. You're right. He does.
Like he thinks he's the greatest thing going, but he really does suck more than he does look good.
Yeah. And he proved that on the Giants. He proved that in
if a pass ain't thrown to him, he'll yell and scream.
Right. Or if a pass is thrown to him, he'll drop it.
But then when I see him complaining about why Eli didn't throw the pass to him, it was like, dopey. You have 3 people around you.
Yeah. All right, so let's go over next week's predictions. I'm going to tell you the matchups, and then we're going to go over who do you think is going to win. I mean, we're not going to really go into it, in too much detail, but I didn't write.
We're not doing point spreads, right?
No point spreads, no over unders, but and I didn't put every game here, because.
You put the key matchups that we think are
pretty much. Be
like our top 3 games of the week type deal again.
Well, not necessarily, because I do have almost 10, but really quick. We got the 49ers at the Giants. Now remember, 49ers are going to be without
I'm going to go with the Giants with the injuries because you don't know if Jimmy G is going to start or not.
You don't know if Jimmy G is going to start. The 49ers are heavily depleted on the defensive end because not just the players that they lost in yesterday's game, but they did have a couple of I think Ford. I don't know his first name, but I know Ford is another really good defensive player on their team that was out and is most likely going to be out for week 3. So you don't have Bosa, you don't have Thomas, you don't have Ford. And I think there's another defensive player I'm not thinking of. You're without Garoppolo and you're without your running back. So I'm hoping now again, Giants lost their star. So we don't know who's going to, because Lewis looks horrible. His Barkley's backup, Lewis, does not look good.
Well, I mean, like you said, unless it's signing this guy Freeman, who you said was getting an audition this week.
Yeah, he's got an invitation.
And I saw the rumors if Marshawn Lynch is going to show up. I mean,
who knows? I really don't know if it makes a difference who they put in the backfield anyway. So I am, and not just because I'm a Giants fan, I'm hoping, because I know the 49ers team is very, very good.
I mean, 50% of the team is out. 50% of the starters are out. So, I mean, I'm thinking hopefully Daniel, I'm not going to call him his nickname because he doesn't deserve a nickname.
Yeah.
But Daniel Jones will probably throw for about over 400 yards and maybe get 4 TDs out of this game.
I don't know if it'll be that. I don't know if it'll be that by that margin, but I'm going
I mean, you ain't got a running game, so what else you got? You got to throw bombs all the whole time.
I'll give. I think it'll be a low scoring game. I'll give the Giants the edge though, only because the 49ers are
very depleted.
Are at that much of a disadvantage. All right, let's go to the Patriots versus the Raiders. Now, I believe I believe they're in Foxborough.
Well, I mean,
now, here's the thing.
Kind of nice over there, so I'm not saying.
Here's the thing, though, and we're at a disadvantage with this game only because we're not, and we're going to have the same issue later on with the Saints. We didn't see them play their second game yet, so the Raiders play tonight. So we really don't know what they're going to look like. I think if the Raiders can beat the Saints at home tonight, in Vegas, they maybe have a shot in Foxborough next week against the Patriots. What do you think? Or do you don't think it matters?
I don't know because, you're still in the end of September. So, the weather is still a little decent over there, even though it was a little chilly over the weekend.
Right.
But it's not like New England freezing cold December weather like it normally gets. So, it might be okay for David Carr to actually play there next week. Because like you said, we didn't watch them plays. They're playing tonight.
Yeah. Tonight's a key matchup. Tonight's a key game because, again, they're playing in their first game ever in Las Vegas. They're both 1-0, the Saints and the Raiders, and they're playing against the Saints. Now, the Saints don't have...
New England played Seattle tough.
I know, and that's why this is such a tough... And again, if the Raiders and Saints game would have happened yesterday, and if the Raiders would have came out victorious, then you have a dilemma here. Then you got to say, okay, well, look, the Pats almost beat the Seahawks, right? And then you have the Raiders did beat the Saints, who did in fact beat the Patriots. So
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go New England anyway. I'm gonna go New England on that game.
wait, they didn't beat the. I'm sorry, the Saints and Patriots didn't play each other. I'm sorry. You're gonna go with New England. I'm gonna
New England.
For now. I'm gonna go with the Pats as well. I'm gonna go with that too, only because we do not know what the Raiders are yet, and I think tonight's game against the Saints might show us that. Okay, so now
Seattle's a lot tougher team than.
We got a good game. We got a good game now that I'm going to ask. This one's going to be a tough one. And I believe I wrote it in where the Bills are home. The Rams versus the Bills. Now, this is going to be the Bills' first game against a team that looks formidable. Not to knock, I joke because of how bad the Jets are. And, the Dolphins are usually, Dolphins have shown some good, that they can do, but they're nowhere near compared to the Rams. So
exactly.
You got both teams 2-0, both teams playing in a division that they're hoping to win. What do you think with the Bills at home? Do you think that defense is enough to stop that high-powered offense that the Rams have?
That's what's concerned because you got a good offense against a good defense.
Yeah,
and this is where
And the Bills haven't been too shabby again. Like I said, we talked about Josh Allen, and we talked about his ability. Again, granted, it was against the Dolphins, but they still came back, and he still led them, and he's been mistake-free so far with 6 TDs and 0 interceptions. So it's not that the Bills.
If the Bills defense can hold it up,
right,
and Josh Allen can maybe just throw 2 TDs. Or even 1 TD with a rushing TD and throw a couple of field goals. I'll go Buffalo. I'll go Buffalo on that.
I'm going to go with the Rams only because, again, I think Bills are a good team, and I think the Bills are probably going to end up winning the AL East. I just feel not AL East, AFC East.
AFC
East. You know what I meant. You know what I meant. Baseball brain.
Baseball. Are you writing these picks down, or you just?
Yeah, no, I have them down. So I'm gonna underline the Rams. I'll go. You picked the Bills though. I'm gonna go Rams only because the Rams I feel like have played a little bit better of a team to prove that they can win. All right, but I'm gonna go next match. You got Cowboys at again. I don't know if I wrote it the right way. Cowboys versus Seahawks.
Seattle.
You're gonna go with Seattle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm also gonna go with Seattle.
I mean, they are kind of like Atlanta, Seattle sometimes because Pete Carroll could fuck up a game in a matter of seconds.
But Russell Wilson and Matt Ryan two different
animals.
And that Falcons team, like you said, was gifted those points early on with turnovers. So it might be closer with the game, between I don't think the Cowboys are going to get blown out like they did and then have to come back. But Dak has shown that he could lead the team back, and Ezekiel Elliott.
Where are they playing in Dallas or Seattle?
See, that's what I thought I wrote them where the home team was. What do you call it? Was on the right, but I don't know if they would play back-to-back games at home, back-to-back weeks at home. I mean, it's not unheard of. It happens. Yeah, the Seahawks are home. They're in Seattle. I did write it the right way. It's Cowboys at Seattle. Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still going with Seattle.
Yeah, yep. They're the Seattle and Cowboys. Yeah.
Now you got the Bucks. Brady's third game with Tampa at Broncos. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about the Broncos this year, but so I really don't. This pick can go either way. It really can.
It could. I mean, Denver's 0-2 already.
Right.
I mean,
I just feel like Brady is this is a team that he's used to playing, being from the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like you said, the Broncos are 0-2.
And the balls are and the balls won't be as sweaty for
his
Tom.
balls won't be sweaty, no.
Or they won't be sweaty, lipped, or deflated. So I'm gonna go Tampa Bay.
I'm gonna go Tampa Bay as well. That was my pick as well before. Bears versus Falcons. Speaking of the Falcons, I'm going Bears because the Bears have looked good back-to-back weeks. Again, they did one of the wins came against the Giants, but they did pull out that really good win against the Lions, which could have went one way if the Lions receiver would have caught that ball. But I'm gonna go with a quick pick with the Bears. What about you?
To quote the great Pat Swirsky and the super fans over at Dick's Bar and Grill,
Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Now, this should be a good matchup, but the Texans really haven't been playing that well. But you got the Steelers who are 2-0 against the Texans.
Big Ben looks rejuvenated this year. I think the injury really helped him, and I'm gonna go with black and gold on that one.
I'm also with you.
I'm gonna go black and yellow.
Yeah, black and yellow. Black and yellow it is. Look, as good as Deshaun Watson is, he has not shown. They had some tough losses, but at the same time, I feel like the Steelers are going to win. I'm with you on that. So another one last team matchup before we get into the premier ones. And I just put it there for fun. Jets at Colts.
Rematch of Super Bowl III.
Well, and remember, not Drew. I always keep
50 years since the Jets won a Super Bowl.
And I don't know if you know this, but because I remember when it happened, but I forgot. But Phillip Rivers is on the Colts now. He's their quarterback.
Yeah, because San Diego LA now got them.
Tyrod Taylor. Yeah. I'm going with the Colts. Jets have looked horrid. The Jets have. This is a must win for them. You don't want to go 0-3. But the Jets have not shown any signs of life whatsoever. Sam Darnold looks confused as ever. I don't know if he has mono. He has mono again.
He always looks confused.
I don't know if he's seeing ghosts. I don't know what it is, but he got demolished.
Sam Darnold is like the Joe Biden of quarterbacks, okay?
It's just unbelievable. It was unbelievable how lifeless this Jets team looks. And again,
Sam Darnold goes, am I ready to play? Wait, oh no, okay. Jill, oh wait.
So I'm assuming you're going Colts as well?
Is he going to, if he wakes up, I'm afraid you know what? I'm gonna live on the edge on this one. Give me the Jets.
All right. I'll put you with the Jets.
I'm gonna take a shot.
All right. So here we go. We got
Indy will have fans in the stands for this game as well.
Yeah. So you got the premier games. You got Sunday Night Football, Packers versus Saints.
That's going to be a really good game.
And then Monday night, you got Chiefs versus Ravens.
Speaking of what we were just talking about, the two alpha male, the alpha males of the of both divisions over there for the AFC with Mahomes and Lamar.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying the next Monday night is going to be a very big game, and it should be fun to watch. I'm actually looking forward to it.
I wish I could watch this game.
So you got the Chiefs versus Ravens, Monday Night Football. Well, you know what? Let's start with the Sunday Night Football.
Let's do Sunday night game first.
Yeah, Packers and Saints. Who do you? That's a very, very evenly on paper, though. Obviously, you have an evenly matched up game. The only thing that the Packers will have a slight advantage over the Saints is that the Saints won't have their wide receiver Thomas. He will be out. He will not be available next week. And Michael Thomas is a big piece of that offense. He's a
and you
big.
also got to throw in the fact that there's no fans there, and you know when Mercedes-Benz Superdome is filled,
Yeah.
it is a visiting quarterback's nightmare.
Well, look, it's very hard to put any team, I should say any game in the home field advantage category. You just can't do it.
But if you're just having piped in crowd noise, it ain't going to be the same decibel.
No, it won't.
As that crowd that would be there in the stadium.
No.
So to quote the great Stephen A. Smith again, give me that bad
Aaron
Rodgers. Packers.
I'm going with the Packers as well. I look, Drew Brees is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Obviously with his age, he's not up there right now with Mahomes, but given what he has done over the years, he leads the league in almost all the categories. I think the only thing he doesn't have, I think Peyton still has. Does Peyton have the touchdown record still or no?
I think he does.
I could be wrong. Either way, let's forget about stats. Drew Brees is what Drew Brees is. But however, Aaron Rodgers is what Aaron Rodgers is. And I just feel like they have a slight advantage because of the way they've been playing and the way that Aaron Jones ran yesterday.
And I think Aaron Rodgers has really something to prove now that Mike McCarthy is not there anymore.
I agree.
And like I said, if and Stephen A. is right though. He is a bad man when he's on.
Yeah.
So and
Stephen A. even said. Stephen A. even said as dangerous as Patrick Mahomes. Now I don't know if I'd go that far, but he is right in saying that when Aaron Rodgers has what he has, he's better than anyone out there. So we'll see what happens.
And like I said, the limited, you're going to have pumped in crowd noise, but it's not going to be as explosive as having that whole stadium of Saint fans going crazy. That, like I said, the drive of a visiting quarterback insane.
I agree. And then, of course, like I said, the Monday night game, the last game we're going to talk about before we end the show, we have the marquee matchup of the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes and the Ravens and Lamar Jackson and that defense. Again, the Ravens have not only outscored their opponents with 71 points, I think I said, and then also held both teams to a combined 22 points. Now, they didn't play like an elite team.
Joseph.
You're going with Aaron?
I know both. I know both
very
Lamar
well.
Jackson and Patrick Mahomes.
They are really good friends of mine.
We are dear friends. We spent summers down at the beach skipping and enjoying a nice menage a trois, sexting each other during the season. But I digress. There is no way Lamar Jackson is going to beat Patrick Mahomes, even in the great city of Baltimore, Maryland. Patrick Mahomes will crush the Baltimore Ravens 42-31.
Okay. Look, I'm actually gonna go with Mahomes.
I'm not predicting the game. I just want to sound cool. But
well, Stephen A., thank you for giving your take on that. But I will say I think the Chiefs are gonna win. I'm hoping the Chiefs are gonna win. I actually never really cared for the Ravens. They were never a team I liked.
Right.
But at the same time, so I don't know if I'm pretty sure it was Max Kellerman that said on First Take that Patrick Mahomes almost looked bored when he was playing yesterday's game. And I feel like with the pressure that the Ravens are going to bring and the kind of game that it's going to be, that rivalry, and just, it's an AFC rivalry. It's a team that you're most likely going to face heading into the playoffs.
I think the reason why he looked so bored yesterday was because they were playing the Chargers.
Yeah.
You had a rookie quarterback in there.
Right.
And he thought he was just going to pick him apart like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, when this kid Herbert just started making shit happen,
yeah,
he was like, "Oh shit, I got to put my game on and let's get going here."
Well, that's why I think against a player like Lamar Jackson, your competitive juices are going to be flying, and you're gonna want to push even further and further. And I just feel like when you're digging deep into a bag of tricks or of anything, Mahomes has, this is going to sound sexual, has a deeper bag, has a deeper pocket, because Lamar Jackson.
Let's just say Patrick Mahomes has the it factor.
He does. So I think, given all of that, unless the Ravens defense that showed up last 2 weeks shows up next week, Patrick Mahomes could be very, very dangerous for that team. And it's a wait and see. It's really, honestly, yes, it's about Lamar Jackson, what he can do, but it's going to be more about what the Ravens can stop with Patrick Mahomes. And it just doesn't seem like there's any team that can.
The final score is really going to be 42-31, and I just predicted that.
Well, I'm going to put, I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put your prediction was 42-31.
That would be funny as hell, though, if that was the final score.
Yeah. So I'm going to put, that's Mike's prediction.
That's Stephen A. Smith.
And now we can see if we're going to be right for next week.
Yep. Hopefully.
But all right, so that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. I wanted to go over. So this is pretty much what I want to do on a weekly basis. Every Monday. I'm hoping to do it early, like we did today. Maybe even a little earlier. Honestly, Mike, I didn't know you were going to be up.
We can.
What?
I'll talk to you more after the show about that. We're going to be able to do a lot earlier streams than 5:30 and 7:30 and 8 o'clock streams from now on.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll talk to you after we go off.
All right. So no, again, I didn't realize that you were going to be up as early as you were when I messaged you this morning.
I'm up at 6 a.m. with Hope when she gets up for work.
So we can do, like I said, we can do earlier. We can. Then what I want to do is exactly this kind of format. Go over some of the key games, the key matchups of the previous day.
Well, now we got an idea what highlights to watch, because now you told me what games you want to cover.
Right. Key performances. I want to go over top performers of the week. If there's any injuries, hopefully there's none. We can discuss that.
Our top three most exciting games of the week.
Yeah. And then, of course, next week's predictions. So that's pretty much the kind of format that I want to bring to this segment for the show of Monday Morning Quarterback. And like I said, we're going to try to do it. I want to pick a time and just stick to that where there's consistency. So look, if 2 o'clock, my time,
we'll talk off camera, when we're done. And like I said, there's going to be some changes coming anyway. So
okay,
we'll talk.
The only thing that sucks about doing a Monday morning show, but it just makes more sense because Sundays have the bulk of the games, is that we are going to miss that Monday night game. But we can always talk about that in the following week.
Right.
So either way. All right. So Mike, thank you for coming on.
Always a pleasure.
And we will discuss.
Congratulations on 100 subscribers.
Thank you very much. And again, guys, anybody watching today that has not subscribed, or live, or if you're going to come across this,
it turns blue when you click it.
Or if you're going to come across, I know Nick is. Thank you very much. And Nick dropped in some comments.
Thank you, Nick. So
not only does hitting the like button help out the YouTube channel, but also more comments that I get, whether they're live or when it's there for you to watch later on. Post show comment. Let me know what you think. What's your favorite team? What are some key matchups that you're looking forward to for the following week? And then we can discuss that. And we can even go over and see, with the fun way of doing the next week's predictions, we can see how good we were in predicting what. So that's what I want to do. But again, if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button as well. That'll help out the channel as well. But Mike, thank you for coming on, and just look for us every Monday morning, right here live for Monday Morning Quarterback with your host, Just Your Average Joe, and Mike. And we're going to try to get other guest appearances as well to talk, and get more of I'm hoping a group action thing going on.
Hey, I mean, like I said, I always like the one-on-one, but group action's good too.
Yeah, I mean, not too much. I don't want it to be too convoluted where there's way too much going on. At least like another person, like for example, I was going to get James was going to come on tonight. On today, but the only reason why he didn't is they're doing work on his in his kitchen. They're drilling, and we all know that definitely would come on.
Well, between the wind tunnel over there and then drilling, yeah,
right.
And
but he's also
plus the Jets suck, and he don't even want to probably discuss
But it's also good to have a perspective from another side of a fan, because I don't want it to be just again, and it wasn't. We talked about our Giants.
I know. We talked. I mean, most of the focus, as you know, like for the fan, for the viewers out there and our fans, is to be like, well, why are they always talking about the Giants? Well, we're Giants fans. Our show is going to be 50% Giant talk, and then we're going to do the rest of the league and talk about other stuff. But
I don't even think, honestly, dude, I don't even think it will be 50%. To be honest with you, and I'll tell you why.
Actually, we did because we're 141 right now.
Right, but I'm saying I'm thinking, especially future, and depending on how the Giants do, though. Obviously, now as it stands, we only have maybe 30% to talk about. The only reason why we went on as much as we did is because we talked about the Barkley injury, some other key injuries for the Giants, and then we talked about their woes. Other than that, yes.
And also we're trying to combine 2 weeks into one, because we're also talking about what happened.
We talked about the first week as well. Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. I mean, next week now we'll be over there.
Behind in a lifetime, I ran to the store. Bars across the street from Lambeau Field are open. Concerts outside and all out, but they can't. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That makes absolutely no sense.
That makes no sense. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why they're not allowing type of things like that.
I really feel like, especially a stadium like Lambeau, there's no way they're going to go the full year without any participants, unless
there's got to be something. Either it's going to be the vaccine that's going to cause it for them to say, okay, we could open up now and start slowly, 10, 15, 25, and then bring it back up. Like they said, like they don't see real full stadiums until maybe next year.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, even if you can get by the end of the year 50% capacity with the vaccine, providing that it works, which it sounds like from the test run, this thing is working out beautiful.
Okay. All right. So that's something to look. That's something to look forward to.
Something to look forward to. I mean, so hopefully Lambeau will open up soon, even with the bars being fully open now, which is great. I mean, nice to see the bars and restaurants getting back to business. I'm glad to see that New York City is going to have
soon
restaurant service finally. Somebody spanked the mayor in the ass over there, the blast hole.
In a little over a week, we're going to get that.
Yeah,
all right. So
the 30th, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So on that note, we're going to end the show. And as I said, guys, this is something you can look forward to every week on Monday. Is just a quick diagnostics of the Giants and whether they're hopefully either winning or losing, and then obviously the rest of the league. But there was more to talk about with the with those other 3 games that we talked about, because those were really good.
Those were some really good games.
And hopefully each week brings us that. I'm hoping out of each week, we can come up with at least 3 marquee games that were that good, And
like you said, our 3 and 1 were reversed, but 2 was the Atlanta game with Dallas. And then you had KC third. I had them first, where you had Seattle.
I had the Seattle Pats as the better. Okay. All right. Well, Nick, thank you for commenting. And of course, my little cousin Teddy showed some love. We actually did have a good amount of people that did watch live. Not all of them commented. So that's
We
something
had
to
a
look
good
forward
number.
to. Yeah, we did. Yeah,
What do we have?
we'll talk about it off the show.
All right, sounds good.
All right. But again, thank you for joining Just Your Average Joe and Mike D from Arizona. As we did our very first episode of Monday Morning Quarterback. Subscribe, hit that notification button. That way, every Monday when we do decide to come on, we're going to try to pick a consistent time. We're going to work out the kinks and talk that over. That way, you know when exactly we are about to come on. And I'll see you then. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your week and go Giants.
Go Big Blue.